What's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday, which can only mean one thing. It's TransWorld Live. What's going on? We're glad you are here as we officially open up the road to East Coast Haunters Convention and the East Coast Christmas Show. Super excited. Spirit Hollow Haunter, you are first today. Devin, nice job. What's up? We're glad you guys are here. Sean Fenner, super fan. Love to see you, buddy. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. And of course, Danielle. Now the band's all here. We're getting together here. Folks, it is Tuesday. It's TransWorld Live, and we are excited. Hopefully, you have survived the change with daylight savings time. Super excited. Holly, what's going on? Glad you are here as well. We got some good stuff coming tonight as we kick off our road to our East Coast shows. Of course, if you are watching and you're chatting with us, we love you that you are, just like Rob is right now. We want to let you know we love when you watch, but we love you even more when you let us know where you're from. So please comment in the chat, put some comments in there. It's the only way for us to be able to say, hi, Bob. We're glad you're here. Awesome. We do have some birthdays to celebrate. All kinds of fun stuff today. Our good friends Anthony Glenn and David Luzak. Happy birthday to both of you. Tomorrow, the legendary Chris Stafford and Rich Coase. Now, Rich Coase, some of you may not know, that's Sven Gulli. So we love him. Happy birthday to those guys. And then Russ Troiano and Sean Fenner, super fan, on Friday. He's in the chat right now, so make sure that you tell him happy birthday. We're glad you're here. Two important websites that are going to be crucial here to making sure that you get all of your information. We have East Coast Haunters Convention.com. That's the first one here. Robert's going to post that into chat, and that's a good one. And then also East Coast Christmas Show, another one. Keep those two in there. Now, we're going to shock you a little bit here. We're going to get excited because, folks, April 24th, Thursday, April 24th, that's when the party starts in Philadelphia, right outside of Philadelphia in Oaks, Pennsylvania. And guess what? There's only 44 days to go. So we are on the road. We're going to bring you all the fun stuff, all the best exhibitors, all kinds of new stuff, and we're going to dive into everything that is East Coast. Super excited. All right. We have a huge lineup tonight. I'm not sure if he's with us yet, but we're super excited to have TransWorld's very own Rich Bianco to start talking about everything that is East Coast Haunters. I know he may not be here just at the present time because there's good stuff that he's working on right now. So we'll have him flashed into the show here in a second here. But we're very excited to have our two very next guests here to kick us off on the road. They both go by David, so it's super easy. It's like David squared, right? We're super excited to have Mr. David Peace from Experience Lights and Mr. David Henry from Learn Christmas Lighting and Above AVL. Guys, what's going on?
It's a beautiful day.
It is actually a really nice day here. It was mid 70s, beautiful.
Love this. Okay, so where do you guys live? We heard you live very close to each other, actually.
Very close. I moved here last year to Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. Okay. So we're right outside of Nashville.
Very nice.
Yeah, David Henry's like 20, 30 minutes away from me. So.
Yeah, I'm inside of Nashville.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Now, where did you guys come from? Like, what made you make this is not about relocation at all, but what made you go to Nashville from wherever you came from?
I'm going to try to keep the political part of this as sort of fun. We came from Southern California.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, and we visited. Being in the industry, we know a lot of people kind of all over the country, and we're visiting people from all over the place. Just fell in love with Nashville. We really, really loved it. It's just it's a beautiful city. You have the big city stuff, but you also have nature and you have the outdoors. And our family just really fell in love with it. So we moved out here last June. The business moved out here actually prior to that, like about 6 months prior to that. So Experience Lights has been here since last January.
Love this. Love
Yeah.
it. Well, just while we're staying on that, David Peace, that is, tell us more about Experience Lights, everything that you guys are about for those that don't know. And what's cool about this show is it's a good mixing pot between the Christmas world, of course, and interactive entertainment, and then also Halloween and haunted house folks.
Yeah, yeah. So Experience Lights was founded on the idea that there's more to lights than just blinking lights. It's about the experience, right? It's about making something memorable. And so in all of the products that we build, we wanted to make it as easy as possible.
Okay.
Our flagship line is the Genius controllers.
Yeah.
They're pixel controllers, and they were built with ease of use in mind. So there's obviously a lot of controllers out there, but we try to make ours as easy to use and as fast to build as possible. So the Genius Pro line specifically, as you're showing right now, they actually have this large open area on the top, so you can actually mount your power supplies directly to the circuit board, and the holes are already aligned, so you can drop it right into a enclosure. And the nice thing about that is, when you're building a controller, there's a lot of steps to it. The power, the mounting plate, and all this stuff. And the Genius Pro just makes it easy. Something that might take an hour and a half or 2 hours to set up prior now takes 20, 30 minutes. So when you're at a commercial show, for instance, or a drive-through, and you have to build 100 of these boxes, that really, really kind of adds up. We try to go out to our commercial customers. We visit at least one or two of our customers' shows per year, so we can understand their pain, their frustrations, their things, and try to make things easier so that the products that they deploy are easy for them and understand their pain points better. So.
Love this. Love this. Now, you guys have a huge, huge catalog here. You mentioned about the Genius controllers. You also have the Pixel 2 things.
Yep. So Pixel 2 Things is actually where everything started. When we were on the Great Christmas Light Fight. Yeah. So we were on the Great Christmas Light Fight in 2018. And we had we had a collapsing mega tree, and we had, things that were moving. So it was a little bit, non-traditional. And I started getting messages like, "Hey, how'd you do that?" And I'm like, it was not safe the way that I did that. It was janky. It was very, cobbled together. And, people really wanted to start doing triggers and things like that. So Pixel to Things was actually born from that. And it was that line of products is, if you have a Pixel light show, you already have this data coming through your light show to light up these lights, red, green, blue. Well, what if I want to do something else with that data? What if I want to trigger some AC lights or DC or servos or anything else? That data is there. There's data being present to light up these LEDs. Why can't that same data be used to do something else? So Pixel 2 Things allows you to basically bridge that. You can hook it up to the end of your Pixel string and you control other things. So hence Pixel 2 Things.
I love it. I know that we're talking Christmas today, but I know for our haunt viewers too, it sounds like this is a very versatile platform that you can use it in a number of different scenarios.
Yep. And actually, David Henry is also, distributing some of the products as well. There's Pixel to DMX. And if anybody has been around the moving head game, the Dominars are, kind of king of the castle right now. He's got some awesome moving heads. And if you have pixels in your light show, you can kind of just put that pixel to, DMX at the end of a string, and then you can control your moving heads really, really easily without having to run a separate DMX network, which, requires extra configuration and more wire, right?
Love this. And I love that you're talking technical too, because we have lots of technical people that love to watch, and they're like, no, give it to me straight. So this is wonderful. That may be a good bridge to bring in David Henry, of course, from Above AVL and Learn Christmas Lighting. Tell us about your side of the fence here.
Man, I'm just a lighting guy who couldn't figure out how to make X lights work. Yeah, so you'd asked when we moved to Nashville, as if nobody grows up in Nashville and stays there. But I didn't. I didn't grow up in Nashville.
Yeah.
I actually grew up in Central Pennsylvania, not all that
Oh,
far from the
okay.
East Coast show.
Yeah.
But I moved down here for work, and
Okay.
kind of hit the point. I lived in a much more rural area of the state, and hit the point where it was like, okay, like every time I go like advance in my career down here, I hear about somebody's job that I'm taking, like an older guy, right, who's not as tech savvy. And I was like, I realized I needed to move to like a bigger city, right? So I started working in Baltimore, and I was like, a little too big. Had some friends in Nashville, made the jump down here in 2010.
Love it.
And so, yeah, what we do is, I was a lighting guy, did stage lighting for a number of years, designing shows and operating them, and got into this Christmas world by just trying to do it. And that's where Learn Christmas Lighting initially came from.
Sure.
And now we kind of wrapped it into our main brand where we sell stage lighting and audio equipment, because we kept finding people saying, okay, we know we can get Christmas lights from you, but like that truss and that stuff in your background, like, can we buy that stuff from you guys too? And we're like, well, yeah, like we totally sell stuff in that industry. So why not just stick it all together? So if we click on holiday lighting on the page, we see all our holiday lighting stuff. But essentially, yeah, we just love to be the experts on DMX and moving heads, and then also have pixels and some of David's products like the Pixel 2 DMXs and the Clickets, which I just got to tell you, that is, you didn't talk about those yet, but it's one of the most brilliant things ever, because it's a way for people to fix pixels. And pretty much if you don't do it wrong, if it works, like, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but literally, like, the only time I've had one not work on me was when it was really cold and I rushed and I looked at it the second after I did it and I knew what I did wrong, because the top's clear so you can see right through it. It's really brilliant. So yeah, we do all kinds of stuff.
Well, thank you. That's very nice.
Yeah, we do all kinds of stuff, from the moving heads to gobo pattern projectors where you can put custom patterns in them, to pixels and all that good stuff too, as well as teaching. So that's what Learn Christmas Lighting is all about. I believe we're the only A to Z course all in one place, updated every year, that just walks you through how to do a Christmas light show on your home or commercial, and we're the place that does it.
Yeah, in fact, we found out recently he had done a review of my house before I even met him.
Oh no.
He did a review of my Christmas light show, and I hadn't seen it like just recently.
You hadn't seen it.
I went back and looked at it, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, you were nice. So that was great.
I mean, that's really my burning question. Was it a positive review?
It was. I think he was reviewing my Mario sequence, which quite frankly was one of my favorite ones. I love Mario. Who doesn't
love Mario?
We're one day past Mario Day.
I know. I was just thinking that. Yeah.
March 10th, right? Like,
yeah.
But no, if you really want to roast your show, David, you got to look at my video, which is my review of your 2024 Christmas light show on your
which is non-existent.
Oh my gosh, this is an awesome tag team. I mean, like, you guys really worked well.
But we don't take ourselves too seriously, so like
It is wonderful. And just to focus on David Henry for a second, like, your products above AVL is great for Christmas. Of course, there's a lot of folks that are do-it-yourselfers and home decorators, but also for those haunters that are looking out there, check out their website. Robert's going to post the link if he hasn't already. I mean, there's tons of lighting and audio and video, and that is everything that is needed in a haunted attraction as well. So this is all about entertainment. What a great one-stop shop to get it from somebody amazing that knows what they're talking about, but also then can train you. And what caught my attention from your Learn Christmas Lighting is you put it right on the front page. This is for the average Joe. Sequencing and programming can be difficult, can be a little intimidating. You guys are breaking it down, making it simple so that somebody who just wants to start beautifying their home can do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Couldn't put it any better. Again, I'm, the lighting guy who couldn't figure out how to do it. Like, and we got there and now we teach people.
I love that. I mean, it's such a great reference because we have so many high professionals that are working at this commercially, and they're wonderful. We love them, but also for the folks that want to get in, there's a lot more homes than there are, commercial properties, and folks love celebrating the season, whether it's Christmas or Easter. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, they like to decorate their homes. So to be able to say, hey, I want to do it with some panache instead of just buying the sign and setting it up type of thing, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I will say, for anybody that's watching this that wants to get into it, the videos that David Henry has put together are really, really well done. He doesn't just gloss over things, he really dives in and says the why. So, definitely check out those videos that he's put together, because they are excellent videos.
It's a huge resource. I agree. I mean, even when I was going through it prior to the show, I'm like, holy cow, this is a treasure trove. Wow. Okay. This is awesome. All right. So you guys are really this dynamic team. We have to ask, just before we get into the East Coast swing here, you guys both exhibited at TransWorld in St. Louis. How are each of your shows?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. You ask a question and we're both like, who answers first?
Exactly. David can answer.
We had a great booth. It was a lot of fun. We talked to a lot of people, pushing out a lot of quotes, talking to a lot of commercial people. It feels like it'll be good, despite the fact that, the rainy cloud over TransWorld per se was the tariff news, right? That, unbeknownst to me, went up to 20% while we were there. And then you get back and you find out and you're like, oh, hey, that's nice. But, it's just, every obstacle that comes, you just figure out the best way to work with it, right? But no, I felt it was an awesome show. Talked to a lot of really great commercial decorators and folks that, that's kind of our, the people we go for at TransWorld is those kind of folks at the St. Louis show. And it definitely was busy. We met a lot of great people. It was a good time.
Love this. David, peace.
Yeah. I always say there's two sides to every one of these shows. There's the business side, and then there's the fun side.
Sure.
Right. And from the business side, I feel like it couldn't have gone better. I felt like the people that were visiting my booth were highly qualified buyers, and from a business perspective, obviously you can't ask for more from that, right? We closed a lot of sales while we were there, and we have a lot of really good, strong leads coming in the next couple of months. So I felt like it went fantastic. But on the flip side, from the fun side, all of these events, it's like a big reunion. You come back and you see everybody that you haven't seen in a while, and it's like family coming together again. And it's just, sometimes that gets in the way of businessing, but because you're like, oh, I want to go talk to my friend rather than close the sale over here. But no, it was great, both on the business side and on the social and fun side.
We did a TransWorld Aftermath show. We call it the Aftermath show this past Wednesday, a week ago. And you couldn't have hit on a stronger point. Like, none of us had an opportunity because everybody's working, everybody's doing what they're there to do. And so you see your friend for a brief moment and you're like, yeah, we're going to get together. And then we don't get together because nobody has time, or they're just exhausted at the end of the day. So it sounds like it was great for both of you, which is really exciting how we start marching into the East Coast shows. And for all of us that have been there last year was our inaugural year for the East Coast Halloween show. And we're super excited to debut a brand new section of the show, the Christmas show. And you guys are among our pioneers that are helping us to start that. Why is this show important to you guys? Why are you guys a part of this and helping us launch this forward?
So I'm going to let David Henry take it again first. Last time.
We're going alphabetical order here. I like it.
No, so the East Coast show, this is the terrible part, is the date came up and we actually already had something personally on there. So we're actually not exhibiting this year.
Well, you're going to have your name on the Nashville sign, though. So you're there in spirit.
Oh yeah,
You know,
so we've got our Music City Lighting Summit.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which is one of those mini gatherings the Christmas people
Yeah.
do. And we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm super excited for the East Coast show, for somebody who's not going, just because, it was like previously, I think what is interesting this year about TransWorld in St. Louis is that having the East Coast show meant that St. Louis was totally commercially focused, like very
Right.
few residential people.
Right.
Which meant that with those people, we could spend more time talking about that kind of stuff. And like our booth, I focused just on the commercial stuff. Same, David did the same,
Sure.
and it worked really well. So I'm pumped about having a residential focused show so that we can go out there and really just focus on residential and meet those people. And so now I'll boom kick it right off to other David.
Yeah, no, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there, right? You know, two different focuses. There's
Right.
certainly overlap, obviously, you know, but what I always say is, you know, the more residential focused shows, people come out there primarily for fun, obviously, and to see people and to socialize. But while they're there, they're also still buying, right? And they're learning about the new
Right.
products, you know. So it's a very kind of they're very complementary. There's obviously overlap. What's also nice is now that I'm in Tennessee as opposed to California is I can drive to these events now, so I can actually drive from my house to both events. But I'm really looking forward to it. You know, we're sponsoring the new mini section,
Yes.
which I'm sure we'll talk about for the new Nashville mini, and then Experience Lights has a booth, which I'm really looking forward to. It's gonna be a really good time.
I love it. And before we get into minis, super excited because rumor has it that Rich is here as we are really talking about kicking off this East Coast kick here. There he is, Mr. Rich Bianco. How are you, sir?
What's up, guys? Well, I was cooking dinner, and because Jen never cooks for us, and I lost track of time.
I love it. We were just kicking off. We were talking about their TransWorld show and about what they're excited about with East Coast as we kick off this inaugural year of the East Coast Christmas show to complement the Halloween show.
Yes, very exciting. For those who don't know about it yet, I mean, the two halls are completely separate halls, but there will be a throughway that basically connects the two together. It's like a 12-foot by 10-foot roll-up door, and that'll connect the two shows together. So it'll be really cool. I know we were extremely crowded last year with the Halloween side, and we expect the Christmas side to do very well. And a lot of the customers purchase from both, so it'll be kind of neat to see the two different groups coming together. It'll be fun. So.
And it is nice. We just kind of talked about how TransWorld does focus on a commercial side versus our regional shows like the East Coast and Midwest Haunters, et cetera, focus on do-it-yourself, on home decorators.
Yeah, totally. So, these, as you said, the show in St. Louis is more geared towards our commercial buyers. It's funny, a lot of people even say, if you're going there, it's mostly only big products and things like that. It's not really true, but those big products kind of eat up the floor. So people look at it and they think, well, if you want a big commercial, product, that's the place to go. There's a lot of guys like AVL and Experience Lights who are there that represent and do a lot of different things, So we do plan on morphing that show into other things, but you have to start somewhere. And we started out with the commercial large displays because that's what most people look at, on that end. Those are the wow products, we'll call them. So when people see those, that's like the main thing at the attraction. But there are so many other things going on that people kind of don't pay attention to, and that's where a lot of the other vendors that are there. I mean, we even have guys that sell clips, you know what I mean, for lights on your home or your commercial building, and some people would see them and they see these little plastic things when they walk up to their booth and they're like, what are these guys doing here? The last thing you're looking at too, because you see these big wow products. If you got a 45-foot tree sitting in that hall, and you're walking by, it's hard to look at the little things, but there are so many things that are needed to tie these shows in together, and that's really what it's about. So to like to reiterate your point about the East Coast show. We wanted something different. We know there's going to be a commercial aspect to it because there's just so many businesses on the East Coast. So we know we're going to see, a decent amount of businesses that'll come to the show anyway and probably purchase from these guys. But the show is really geared towards home decorating, DIY enthusiasts that are looking at, pretty much what AVL does, teaching people how to get into it, learning how to, start their first light show, which is interesting. That's something I'm going to be doing this year. We've been doing Halloween for years. I just had a guy out of my house today. He was fixing some lights that he installed several months ago. It was kind of weird. We had this ledge where he put them around the house. And we got permanent lighting because I just don't have time to install those lights all the time. So we had some permanent lights put up, and they were kind of recessed behind a little bit of a ledge around the porch. And we noticed after they were up and they left that you couldn't see them unless you were really close to the house. So we had them come back out. The guy's all the way from New Orleans. He come all the way back out here to install them, and he had to lower them for us. And then they did had to do a few other things. So we're excited to use them next year. That'll be fun.
Love it. You're like a guinea pig for the product. Exactly.
Yeah, and I can have David teach me, some of the stuff because we're going to get into the
Which one?
The whole show thing at our house. Well, both David.
Both of them.
I don't know, for me, it's down, but it'll be cool to learn a lot of the Christmas stuff. When we first got into Halloween, it was the same thing. I learned a lot of things when I first started working for the company 11 years ago, and now it's my neighbors all expect us to do Christmas. So that's kind of the next thing. We started a little bit this year. We actually left some of our Halloween props out, and we put a scarf on there, a Santa scarf on the one skeleton, and some other things, and and then we had the lights. But next year we plan on doing a full show. So.
And to both of our Davids, really to join Rich in this excitement, we have a bunch of haunters in the chat that are with us every week, and they're all super excited about the Christmas side. They're saying Halloween at heart, but they're excited about Christmas and exploring that new avenue for them.
I think there's a lot of overlap. That's why I think these shows are so great. David Henry and I think we're both kind of positioned nicely. We're kind of on the gap between the Halloween side and the Christmas side. Because I think both of David and David, we both kind of have products that can be used on both sides, which is great. And I recently I'm working with Ned's LEDs, who's on the haunt side. And I'm doing a controller with him towards the Halloween side, but it's being marketed towards the Halloween side, but it's something that works on both sides. At the end of the day, it's controlling lights, right? So it works for both.
Amen to that.
Yeah, and just I guess what Chris is saying, I was looking in the chat, and Devin Blanchard asked, I want to add pixels, but I don't want to add 100% sync to my show. I use LOR. Is there controllers pixels I can control off only?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's plenty of options that go, you can get really small and really cheap and really easy to where you just have a little remote control where you just change the color. You get that for $20, control pixels, all the way up to, hey, I want to, sequence something, but I just want it to play on a loop, where you could do it in Lightorama or X-Lights or anything like that. And you just store it on an SD card. So there's a whole gamut. Certainly David Henry or I, if you want to shoot us an email, we can, help you out with that and kind of guide you in the right direction, whether it's our products or someone else's products. We'll tell you what the right option is.
Well, we have a very difficult question that was put in the chat, and I hope you guys can answer this question. It's from a guy named Miner Mendoza.
Miner
pixel is.
Oh gosh, man.
Man, I don't know. If he's asking, I don't know the answer.
So Miner Mendoza, who is the owner of Your Pixel Store, would like to know what a pixel is. All right. Well, for those who don't know, a pixel is a red, green, and blue light source that has LEDs inside of it, a red, green, and blue LED, and they can each be individually controlled, just like the pixels on your TV screen. And that's what a lot of the people in the light show industry or in the Christmas light show side use for their light shows.
Love it.
Very cool. Very cool.
Thanks, Miner.
I hope that explained it to Miner in a way that he understands it.
Hopefully that'll give him some new products to sell.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So we've been touching on this and we did get a few questions. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off. So since we're defining things, what is a mini?
It's a great question. Who
Yeah, so essentially, I'm supposed to go first. That's what we decided.
David,
Doesn't
always
matter.
alphabetical. I'm joking.
Alphabetically, there we go. There we go. So these minis, I tell you what, they're the strangest thing in the world. The Christmas community does these, and they're essentially miniature seminars generally
Okay.
that people have in all these places, and they're fairly hard to find out about unless you know that they exist. You're never going to know that they exist. They're kind of weird. But regardless, they're really actually very cool if you get into this stuff, kind of like we were talking about. A lot of Christmas people are doing Halloween light shows now, and a lot of Halloween
Right.
people are like, hey, we want to get into the Christmas thing.
Yep.
It's not just an excuse to leave your stuff up longer without having to take it down, but it's actually a lot of fun to do both. And so the minis are a great opportunity to kind of just dive in with people in your greater area generally, and learn some things, but more importantly, actually meet people who are in your area who are doing the things, connect with them, connect with the vendors, and get to do a little bit of learning too as well.
So learning, networking, social aspect, but also like sharing ideas and collaborating.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
for like our haunt folks that are on here, they're very similar to something like Chicago Haunt Builders does. They're
Okay.
communities of homes that basically get together and they learn how to do this stuff, and they collaborate on what they do, learn how and they teach each other basically.
Very awesome. So a little collective. Are they normally like Chicago Haunt Builders? Are they pretty much by metropolitan area, or how do you guys see them as they go across the country?
They're completely random.
Yeah, it varies, man. It depends. It's like one day somebody's like, hey, I'm going to start a mini. And it's like, all right, well, you're in podunk nowhere. You'll get 12 people there, but it's great. No, it varies. Yeah. There's quite a few minis, there's probably 20 or 30 of them around the US and different metros. And, it just starts with someone saying, hey, I want to meet more people in my area. They start a Facebook group, they start inviting people come, and then it grows usually over time, and they, get other vendors involved as, hey, can you donate some prizes, and usually the vendors will donate some prizes. And, at the end of the day, again, it comes down to, a community of people that want to talk to other people that are, especially new people when they're getting into, haunt side or the Christmas side, both, sure. Right? They, you need you want like some mentorship. You want someone to answer your questions. You want somebody that has gone through the pain and suffering that you're about to go through and to help guide you through that, both figuratively in your wallet and then physically in your body.
Well, and just to accent, because I think Rich put a good point, and for those that have been with us for a long time, Jim Slanker, our good friend from Chicago Haunt Builders and from TransWorld now, he had put it a great way as well. He said, it's this group of people that shares this passion, and in their day job, you can, you might have a doctor, a dentist, and then like an auto mechanic or maybe a janitor, or it doesn't matter. You have people from all of life, but when you get in that room and you talk about your passion, which for the Chicago Haunt Builders is haunting, but for these minis, it's just Christmas lights. It's how can we build a better decor and how can we make our stuff cooler?
Yep, you nailed it, man. It's really about those relationships with people that are local and people that you can grow with through the journey of the hobby, and it's addicting. It's unfortunately very addicting because you keep having to grow year over year. And again, I know this is the same on the haunt side. It's like you never stop. It's just what can I do cooler and better, funner this year? And I always like to say, is a little bit cheesy, but the minis, it's about bringing joy to others and also to each other, right? Like the hobby of what we do, even on the haunt side, right? They wouldn't use the word joy, but they're still bringing joy through, right? Through what they do. And, it's the same thing with that. We get satisfaction on the Christmas side. We get satisfaction. We get joy from bringing joy to other people, so it's these minis are kind of bringing joy to each other. Yeah, it's kind of cheesy, but I like to look
No.
at it.
I think it's great. And what's awesome and how this kind of feeds into East Coast, which Rich and I were just talking about a little bit earlier, is we want to help those flourish. There's actually going to be some classes about minis. If you want to make a mini in your area, like tips and tricks and all kinds of things to make sure that this Christmas community continues to grow and, flourish all over the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're looking, what we really wanted to create this show for. It's really about minis, you know what I mean? In those groups, we want this place. We actually have, our plans are to have this like be the mini meetup, a place where all minis can come together and collaborate. I mean, it's no different than your sports team or the favorite team you follow. That they get together at some point and they all talk about the things that they do in different areas. So it's kind of cool because even from different parts of the country, you face different obstacles with the cold weather, the hot weather, different things with putting these lights up. So that's kind of the goal here, to kind of get these guys together. And, I don't know if Chris spoke about this earlier, but you guys started a mini that you're going to be doing real soon here. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah.
Alphabetical.
Yeah. So
Henry always has to deal.
Oh man. So David Peace had to move here and cause trouble, but no, seriously, Nashville's an interesting city because it's very central to a lot of things. And so when David was first moving to town, we were both like, I had been thinking for a few years, gosh, somebody should do one of these minis here. But I don't have the time for it. And he was thinking the same thing. And so we said, well, gosh darn it, I think we have to do one then. And so we started the Music City Lights Summit. It's next week. It's next Saturday, the 22nd here in Nashville.
Yes.
And the cool thing about it is it's everything we've talked about that, a mini is people are just going to come together and, learn and hang out with each other. And, vendors are buying the snacks, buying the pizza. It's free to come. So it's awesome. Just a great time, even if you've never done anything before, to come check it out.
Yeah. And what's cool about that is, I actually wanted that to be my first mini. I was able to attend, but unfortunately we had vacation plans and the kids would kill me if I had to cancel. Mm-hmm. Chris is actually going to come out there.
Priorities, man. You got to get those priorities in line.
Yeah. Out there for the first time to see our first mini.
I'm excited. I know that you guys get a great following. I heard like over 120 already or something like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So when David Henry originally pitched this idea to me, he's like, it's going to be small. We'll just chill, be really easy, low stress, 30 people, makes a post. It's like, hey, 80 people just registered.
Well,
all right. Now we're over 120 at this point. So we'll see.
And I think Robert's going to post it in the chat, so maybe we'll add some to that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's welcome. We got plenty of space. If you're in the area or want to come in, please, you're more than welcome. David Henry has his church is doing it, for a very reasonable cost, and awesome. We have plenty of room for people to come in, and we're gonna have a great time.
That is awesome. And just want to refocus on that. It is free, right? I mean, it's free to anybody that wants to come and learn and network.
I mean, it's freer than free. Yeah. Because lunch is free. So that's better than free.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool. That is next Saturday, March 22nd in Nashville. And I know that you do have a partnership with a hotel. So if people don't have plans and want to come stay, I know the Hilton Brentwood and Nashville Suites is your host hotel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Very, very awesome, guys. This is pretty awesome. We can't wait to see you. Obviously, I get to see you next Saturday, but we can't wait to see you in Oaks, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia. What are you so excited about? What we are excited because we get to plan a first-time Christmas show, and you guys are among those pioneers. Can you give me your final thoughts on why you're excited to be with us at East Coast and to help push this show forward?
I think the biggest thing for me again is the yin and the yang between those two shows, right? TransWorld was so great on the commercial side and had so many, in St. Louis had so many good qualified leads, so many qualified buyers coming up, and the residential or the DIY side is, I don't know if a little bit less stress is the right way to put it, but it's a little bit, a lower, intensity. You get to come out, you bring your goods, you talk to people that are in the community, the social side. I'm a bad business. I go most of these things. I like to have fun. I like to go meet people. I like to have fun. I like to, these are people, again, from the joy side of it, right? Like, I quit my day job to go do this because I love it. I love the people. So I'm mostly excited to see all the people, to see, all the people that come from the hot side and the Christmas side. I'm looking to see how we can, even meet some of the needs on the hot side, because we, Experience Lights, they see products that we make. 70% of our business is actually on the commercial side. We do custom products for other people. So, whether it's on the hot side or the Christmas side, we just do custom electronics. We like to build fun things with lights, and that's what we do, right? So I'm excited to see if there's any more, we're working with Ned's LEDs. We have the 16-port LED controller that we're doing with Ned's LEDs, and I hope that's just the start of what we can do, with the hot side as well.
It's very cool. Yeah, it's what we love about these two industries coming together. It's kind of cool because even one of Jen's family members was at TransWorld, and they do a pretty extravagant yard show for Halloween. They compete with us. It's her cousin, actually. So it's kind of funny, but they came in and they went to Tom Betgeorge, and they bought one of those, pre-made light shows, where you can buy everything put together. They bought the package, and they're going to have that installed for this year. So it's kind of neat because they've been doing all this gory Halloween stuff in their yard for years. Now they're doing an entire light show to add to it. So it is, I've been seeing a lot more of that in my neighborhood too. We're starting to see a lot more pixels and different types of lighting throughout all these shows that people have locally. They're not just doing props anymore. And I'm actually going to start doing some projection mapping next year, on the house, along with all this stuff. So the communities are growing. It's actually fun to watch it happen, and it starts all at a show like this, because as David P, we'll call him, David P said, it's neat how we, you're seeing these people come in and they learn something here, and you're working with Ned's LEDs now, and it's fun seeing how all this stuff comes together. And it was funny when we first started this. Most of the people, it was like East Coast, West Coast. The people that didn't like, that loved Halloween, they hated Christmas, and the people that loved Christmas hated Halloween. And they're starting to come together now, because we can even see it in our comments. A lot of people that are hardcore on the hunt side. We don't want to take that away from people, but it's kind of cool to see how they're both learning from each other.
Yes. Even just to compliment that, Rich, like Sir Alan Hops right in the chat wants to talk more about Christmas. He's got one of the biggest haunted attractions in the country, and I know he wants to talk more Christmas. So he's super excited about this.
That's awesome. Yeah. And one thing I will say too is it's been great. This is going to sound like I'm brown nosing. But it's true. Like Rich and Jen they listen so well.
All right, 1 second, I'll be right back.
He's walking away as I start to give him a compliment. No, because they've asked a lot of times someone will like, hey, can you give us your input, right? And it's like one ear out the other. And Jen and Rich, I think, are really, dedicated to making these shows really, really, really great. And they do listen, and they turn into hour-long phone conversations. Where, and it's just like, wow, they care about making sure that this is good for the vendors, good for the attendees, and that everybody's getting what they need. So
we appreciate kudos. Yeah, we appreciate that. And that's what this, even with our employees and stuff, everything's that way. We're kind of a community, and something we pride ourselves in is that I literally know after a couple of years, I know every vendor personally. Like they all have my cell phone. They all call me, text me any hours of the night, and we truly do care about your ideas. If people do have ideas, we can't obviously implement everything that somebody wants to do, but we try our best to try to be as supportive as we can to the vendors and fulfilling their needs as well as attendees. You'd be blown away at the requests we get. It's kind of funny, like one guy doesn't like that, there were too many potholes in St. Louis, and another person's upset we're not doing this show like in Podunk, Kentucky. They just, wherever they are, they want you to be, which is cool. But, we're just keep in mind that anything we do, we talk to a lot of people to try to get the majority, is what we try to do with it. And we're always open to new things. So fun.
Could not have said it better. And just for those that missed our last Wednesday show, go give it a look. Rich and Jen did a great job of talking to everybody about feedback. Just as a third party here, they really do take every single thing into consideration and try to make as many people happy as possible. And we know that that's a challenge to do, but this is their passion. And we are your partners. TransWorld is your partners in success, not only from the attendees, the buyer side, but also the exhibitors. We want both to be equally successful. So,
Absolutely.
Well, we've got some fun surprises here, and thanks. I'm going to give both Davids credit, but this is coming from David Peace. That is, he mentioned it earlier, and we're super excited here. He's going to be gracing and giving us an awesome $200 value, a 16-port Genius Pixel controller. Mr. Peace, can you tell us about what's up for grabs here?
Yeah, so this is probably our second most popular board on the Genius line. It's our 16-port Pixel controller.
Okay.
So if you're running a light show, this is controlled over your standard network protocols, E131, DDP, or ArtNet for the technically inclined, or can run standalone as well.
Sure.
And it runs a light show. So this is what you would use. You'd have one or more of these in your home haunt or your home light show if you wanted to have animated pixel lighting with the RGB lights that we were talking about earlier. So this allows you to hook up 16 individual strings so that you can have 16 individual
that's awesome
mapped lights to your light show. Yeah.
This is awesome. Thank you so much for your generosity.
How do I go about winning this?
Yeah, well, exactly. Is Rich eligible? We need to make that consideration.
I think that would be insider trading or collusion, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the rules of our game. For those that are newer to the channel, we're going to give you a chance to win it right now. So wherever you're watching it, just post into the chat ECHC, and then the answer to the question that David's going to ask here. But here's the other rules. You have to pick it up at the show in Oaks, Pennsylvania, at the East Coast Christmas show, right outside of Philly at the end of April. So we want you to come get it. It'll be sitting there waiting for you. David, do you have a fun trivia question?
I do.
Okay.
So there's a couple people in the chat that I know, and those people, if you're going to answer, you better be coming to the East Coast Christmas show. So anyways, the question is, so just to be clear, the person that answers first correctly.
Yes. And you're going to call it out because I don't know the answer. So,
okay. All right. So the question,
hey David, is it going to be some kind of question of when's the first time we had a phone conversation? Maybe.
No, it's not going. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. It is something that everybody should know.
Ooh, I like that.
And it's not something where you need insider information.
Love this.
So it's just going to be about speed. So
okay,
it's just going to be about speed.
Cool. A tech question.
It is not a tech. It is not tech. It is. What is the best Christmas movie that had taken place in Nakatomi Plaza?
All right, folks, that's a good one. That's a good one. ECHC, and the answer to David's question, which I think we do know the answer to. Let's see who we call it out. Call it out, sir. When
it's
you
a
see
Christmas story, isn't it?
It is.
There
it is.
We debate this all the time. Is it a Christmas movie or not?
It absolutely is. And I don't care that one of the actors said that it was not. He does not know.
Was it that during his roast or whatever? Or like,
yes,
yeah, it was a roast or something.
Yes, he came out and said it was not a Christmas movie. He's wrong. Just to be very clear.
Very much so. Sir, do you want to do the honors of calling out who you see there as the first right answer?
Well, the first right answer, unfortunately, does not get the prize because Mr. Russell McFarland is an insider, and
I had a feeling.
he does not win. So the winner is Freddie Spire.
Freddie
Nice.
Spire.
But
Congratulations.
Russell, you get an honorable mention. Thank you. Thank you for playing along.
Love it. Well, Freddie, do me a favor. Email me, KRIS@HAAshow.com, and we'll get you connected. Make sure that your prize is ready and waiting when you get to the booth there to hang out with David Peace and experience. Guys, thank you so much. That was awesome. Is that your favorite Christmas movie? Now we got to ask.
It is not my favorite Christmas movie, but I like to tell people that, it is a Christmas movie, and I will settle that debate. It is a Christmas movie. My favorite Christmas movie is Elf.
Oh, good call. Okay.
That's a good one.
David Henry, what about you?
Man, I don't know. I think I got to go back to being a child of the 90s with Home Alone.
Okay, that's a great one.
Yeah, Home Alone is just...
That's
a good one also.
Rich, I've never asked you. What about you?
All right, well, let's just do another trivia question, and we'll give away 2 tickets to the show, to the East Coast Christmas show.
Breaking news. I love
the
it.
first person, obviously you have to be coming to the show. You probably would be if you're getting tickets, but
Right.
you have to guess what Christmas movie was filmed about 4 miles from our home. So you might have to kind of
Die Hard.
You might have to kind of figure out where I live and guess where this house was filmed. This movie was filmed at a home right near our house.
Love this. Rich, what do they win if they get the right answer?
2 tickets to 2 general admission tickets to the show.
Oh, love it. 2 general admission tickets. Okay, here we go. We are ready to roll. Christmas Vacation is not right. Uh-oh. I'm seeing that answer, Rich. You want to call it out? Which one you're seeing first?
Oh, the first one I saw was Ross.
Yes, that's who that's who I saw as well. Ross Ratliff from Michigan. Congratulations, sir. Love it. KRIS@HAAshow.com. We'll get you hooked up because you're going to the East Coast Honors Convention, courtesy of Rich, Jen, and everyone at TransWorld.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that house is, we drive by it all the time, and I don't know how those people live there because somebody else bought them. It's been sold several times. Every year, even months after Christmas, there are so many people outside of that house, and they have a metal fence all around it now to try to keep people out. But people have no, some of them just will go right up there and try to take photos on the porch. So it's kind of funny.
Well, much to many of the answers there for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's definitely my favorite movie. Super excited about that. It was based in Chicago. I don't know that it was actually filmed here, though, sadly. I think it was actually filmed partially in Los Angeles, but that's okay. It's still our favorite movie. So to our Davids, thank you both. This has been awesome. Before we leave, I know people are going to have questions. They want to look into your products. They want to talk to you. What's the best way to get a hold of each of you if they want to strike up a conversation and start working with you a little bit more?
Yeah.
Let's go
above avl.com. Above avl.com. That's the place.
Love it. And Mr. Peace?
Experiencelights.com or David at experiencelights.com. And if you want to come to the mini, it's the MusicCityLightingSummit.com has all the details there for the March 22nd. It's coming up quick, so make sure and register if you do want to join. Perfect. I know Robert's getting ready to put it into the chat one more time, and so you guys can check that out there. Of course, East Coast HaunersConvention.com, East Coast ChristmasShow.com. Those are the 2 places we want you to bookmark, and that's going to have all of your information as stuff comes out. We're going to have seminars, learning opportunities, tours, all kinds of fun stuff. And if you check those websites out, you'll find out about it. But you'll get all that breaking news right here at TransWorld Live. We will be back next Tuesday. That is March 18th for more fun and excitement. So just
Want to thank all the four of you. Anything anybody want to say before we depart for this evening?
Merry
Thanks.
Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Thanks for having us on. I like
Nice.
that. Merry Christmas.
It feels great.
Chris, I just wanted to let everyone know that the exhibitor list will probably be out by tomorrow.
Oh, breaking
for
news.
those shows.
Okay.
We will also, the floor plan is actually being completed by our IT department. So when they finish that up, that'll go live as well. So the list will come out first and you can kind of see who's going to be there as far as vendors. We will also have a lot of the parties and events are starting to populate.
Yeah.
On some free installer classes. They're going to be released soon.
Okay.
There's going to be some free installer education that'll be offered along with a bunch of other stuff. And there is a Christmas party that's being finalized that will be held at Arnold's. It's basically an FEC go-kart, facility that's on site. It's actually right in the parking lot of where the Oaks is. So we'll be holding a party there. We're working on the final details of that, but that'll be released soon too. So that'll be a place for a lot of the Christmas folks and Halloween folks who aren't at our haunt tour that night, because it will run the same night as the haunt tour. This will probably be more geared towards our Christmas folks.
Sure.
And we do have one thing that is actually really cool that's going to be released is Hershey Park. It's actually on the website, but Hershey Park is opening for our trade show exclusively, and it'll be during the day. So you're going to be able to go there. They will have certain roller coasters open exclusive to our people, so you don't have to wait in long lines, and that'll precede a lot of things that'll happen at night. So I think it's more of a daytime thing, and there will be a certain point where they're letting in their yearly membership holders, so we'll have to leave the park at that time. So we'll have a portion of time on one of the days. It's on the website, and Jen's yelling down to me what it is. I don't handle that part of the business, so I apologize for not knowing the exact date, but it is on the website. So.
Well, and Rich, one quick question before we go. You had mentioned about that exhibitor list and the map coming out. Rumor has it that there's only like a few spaces left on the show floor. It's almost sold out.
So the floor plan's sitting right here next to me. I like in Christmas, I mean, it looks like there's about 7 or 8 booths left. It is a smaller floor. That's 20,000 square foot, but it's still a pretty nice floor with 2 seminar rooms in it. Nice. And then on the Halloween side, it's 80,000 square feet. And I think we have about maybe 13 booths left, 15, something like that. So when that gets released, most of those spots will sell, because most people don't even, as soon as they see competitors on there and different people that are coming, it legitimizes the show. We will sell a lot more booths. I can tell you that there are several people that were there last year on the haunt side that did very well, and they just probably have forgotten to sign up at this point. As soon as they see this, they're all going to be jumping on their booths. But I've had 5 more contracts come in today, so I know when this occurs. That floor, I'm 100% confident that the Halloween side will sell out, and I'm pretty confident the Christmas side will sell out as well. So.
Well, if you're watching and you forgot about this, hurry up, email Rich, RICH at HAAshow.com, and make sure you don't lose out on an opportunity to be a part of East Coast Haunters Convention and East Coast Christmas Show 2025.
Yeah,
guys?
One last question, Chris, that I just saw.
Yeah.
The seminars are all going to be released over the next couple of days. Some of these, guys, David's helped us with some of this stuff. There's a bunch of guys that are helping us. A lot of that stuff's going to come out probably. Jen has it done. She's finalizing it. We just have to get it populated on the website. So that stuff, I would say by the latest, like next week, it'll all be populated. So
Love this. Love this. Well, good stuff. Keep tuned here. We'll have all kinds of breaking news for you. Thanks to both Davids, to Rich, to Robert, and of course to all of you for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll see you here next week.